right, number 3. Now we're taking a look at trunk and spinal mechanics, and the first thing that I want to address with athletes in regards to spinal movement is that all spinal movement is accumulative. So what I mean by this is that we can't independently have motion at the cervical spine without getting some level of movement at both the thoracic and the lumbar spine. I think that's one that might not make a ton of sense to people initially when they're told that, but eventually they start to get it and then recognize the significance of it as we go along. In addition to that, I'll just cover again basic global motions and ranges of motion with the spine. And we want to make sure that we are addressing this with the understanding of the spinal engine theory, or the reciprocity of trunk action. So, again, illustrating to them that a right side rotation is not just the left arm crossing the body, but it's also the right elbow driving back. So we always want to introduce and elucidate that concept of the spinal engine so that they understand where motion is coming from. Lastly, from there, I'll make sure to address the differences between a kyphotic and a lordotic posture. If it's present with the athlete that I'm with, we'll touch on scoliosis as well, but basically just getting them familiar to what their resting posture looks like, and then kind of explaining how those things can affect them thereafter. But ultimately, with the spine and the trunk, we want to think of this like the chaos theory. Everything affects everything. It's always a factor, it's always important, but we want to make sure that we are teaching the athletes to recognize how the trunk is related to everything else in the body throughout a variety of movements.